Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Veterans Memorial Ice Arena, where it is Pioneer Women's Varsity Hockey scheduled to take on St. Catherine's of Siena Academy. And just a little bit about these two schools before we get going, as they've resurfaced the ice. And we have about 9 minutes before scheduled time. They're getting the nets put back on the moorings, although I'm sure we'll have a little bit of a warm-up happen beforehand. Pioneer is 1-3. They beat Downriver 3-1 to begin the season on the 17th, and lost to Washtenaw United, Walled Lake, and then Mercy. The Mercy game isn't actually up on the site yet, so I can't talk about that one much. But again, it is worth noting that Mercy had mercied 3 of their 4 games before Pioneer. They've beaten those teams by at least 8 points. And Pioneer, I'm sure it wasn't an exceedingly fun game versus a high-quality opponent for the team, but they held in there as well as I've seen in a long time. Mercy is just a tough team to play, and it was something that I think they did a excellent job trying to battle through that and do what they can. So now on to St. Catherine's. Now St. Catherine's, if we pull up, well, first of all, I can give you the player stats. Again, it's the points are kind of gathered around. Again, this does not include the Mercy game as of yet, but a top point leader is Tuzinski with the goal and the assist. She had another beautiful shot that caught the top left-hand corner in the last game. So she has at least 3 points now. The rest of it is a point on a goal or assist to several different players there. So real team effort so far from this Pioneer women's hockey team. Taking a look at St. Catherine's at this moment at their game schedule, as I pull that up. So they started off playing Walled Lake back on the 10th. That was a 8-0 loss, that at the Lakeland Ice Arena. They lost to Grosse Pointe South. That was 9-0 back on February 12th. They tied Sacred Heart over at the Suburban Ice over in Farmington Hills. That was a 3-3 game. They lost to Plymouth Canton Salem 9-0, and then lost on the 20th that to Troy United. That was 8-1. And if we take a little bit of a look at that Troy United game, now I don't have we don't have any information on the skaters in the Michigan Girls Hockey.org website. So St. Catherine's very, very kindly emailed me their roster this afternoon, so I have it, and I'll do my best. I didn't get a chance to memorize it, but I'll do my best to call those out and give them credit. But we don't have who the goal scorer was for St. Catherine's on here. That's my long-winded point of me hammering here. But St. Catherine's got on the board first. It was 1-0 St. Catherine's at the first intermission. And then Troy piled it on. They scored 4 in the second to make it 4-1 at the second intermission, and 4 in the third for a final score of 8-1. According to the live game sheet, Troy was 0 for 3 on the power play. St. Catherine's 0 for 0. Troy sat for 12 minutes. Started off in the second. So again, there was a score by St. Catherine's in the first, and then Troy United scoring in the second. At 9:28, it was Johansson scoring even strength. Then Morcieri scored from Rowe, that at 8:26. Then at 6:13, it was Morcieri even strength again from Rowe. And then at 4:21, it was Kasichnik, even strength. Then in the third period at 7:42, it was Al Norse from Johansson and Morcier That was at 7:42. Then at 7 even, it was Davis even strength from Johansson. Then at 1:41, it was Al Nassauer shorthanded goal there. So obviously St. Catharines went on the power play at some point in time, just wasn't listed earlier. And then Rowe, after having several, at least 2 assists, got in on the goal scoring as well at 1:27. Between the pipes, it was Megan Powell playing all 45 minutes. According to the sheet, shots on goal were 6 saves, 5 for 1 goal against. So that is currently where St. Catharines is. So definitely a game that Pioneer looks to try and jump out early on St. Catharines, not give them an opportunity to really feel like they have something going. Not trying to get something, not giving them any definite, what am I trying to say? Not giving them any momentum early and get going on them and keep them down as much as possible, because otherwise any team in this league can make a run. So the next game for Pioneer, if we come in and take a look, is going to be on Saturday. That is going to be right back here at Veterans Memorial Ice Arena. That's a 7 p.m. game versus Huron Skyline. They are 2-1 on the season so far, so those two teams will get together on Saturday. And then we're into March, where Pioneer will play Troy United. That here at Vets on March 3rd. That's a 7 p.m. game. They will be at Washtenaw United again. That's going to be at the Ann Arbor Ice Cube. That will be Senior Day. That will be an 8:30 p.m. game on March 4th. And I believe that will actually be in the Varsity rink. So we'll have that for you. And then on Thursday, March 9th, just to give you a little bit of a heads up ahead, they will be at Brighton Howell Heartland at the Kensington Valley Ice House. That is a 5:15 game. Then 3 games closing on the 10th, the 13th, and the 14th versus Bloomfield Birmingham, Grosse Pointe North, and Livonia United. Taking a look as St. Catharines is out on the ice. They're wearing purple jerseys with gold numbers on the front, or excuse me, on the back. With SCA on the front, stylized, with dark pants and white helmets. So 2 teams who have purple heavily in the mix. So that will be a fun time had by all. Taking a look at St. Catharines' upcoming schedule. They have a game on Friday that will be at Livonia United over at Eddie Egger Ice Arena. That's a 6 p.m. game. They finish off the month Saturday, the 27th, at Sacred Heart over at the Troy Sports Center. Then they just have 4 games listed in March. They they started playing a little before we did, so they will play Regina, that on March 1st. On March 9th, they'll play Huron Skyline. On March 10th, they'll play Northville. And on the 12th, they will play Liggett. So that is where things are at this moment. If we take a look at the league and pull up the league standings, as both teams are getting set up and skating at this moment, getting warmed up. It is Liggett in the lead again, still with 10 points, 5 games played in league, 5 wins, no losses. Mercy has 8 points, 4 wins, no losses. That should be 5 now because that hasn't been updated yet. Grosse Pointe South and Northville both tied at 6. Walled Lake, Bloomfield, Birmingham, Huron Skyline, Cranbrook, and Livonia United all tied at 4. Grosse Pointe North, Regina, Plymouth, Canton, Salem, and Troy United all tied at 2. And that is your update. We have about 5 minutes counting down up on the board. So we'll play a few messages from the MHSAA and be right back. You're listening to Pioneer Women's Varsity Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform? Why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Just one programming note that I wanted to mention is that we will have the Pioneer Women's Varsity basketball game tomorrow. That will be from Pioneer High School. That was a rescheduled game from when things got awful snowing. So that will be tomorrow. Then on Friday we will have the Pioneer Women's both JV and varsity basketball games. That will be versus Bedford on Friday evening. I believe that's a 5:30 and 7 p.m. game. We'll also have the Pioneer men's varsity hockey game, that from the Ann Arbor Ice Cube versus Huron at 6 o'clock p.m. on Friday, and that will have our student broadcasters on. So again, 2 minutes, 30 seconds before we get to the opening information here. So how about a few more messages from the MHSAA?
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we are coming down to it here, 15 seconds left in the warm-ups. As again, St. Catherine's in their predominantly purple jerseys, Pioneer in their home jerseys with the purple trim across the shoulders and the dark pants. The numbers in purple on the back, Pioneer in script across the front with the numbers on the shoulders. Mixture of dark and light helmets. 15 minutes up on the board. Again, not sure if we'll have player introductions, starting lineups, or the national anthem. We just nowadays played a little bit by ear as both teams gathering around their bench, trying to get all the pucks taken up and taken care of. We're high up in the crow's nest. Up above these two teams, right up above the benches. The officials talking things over right in front of the scorer's bench. Last minute instructions being given by the coaching staffs. And we are getting ready to go. As we're going to hop right into the start of play. Piper Campbell in to take the face-off. On the opposite side, that looks like Trush. The puck comes back in along the near boards. Giordano fires it along the far boards. Drebeck bringing it along the far boards. She comes into the zone. Drebeck fires it. That off of a player comes onto the near circle. Trying to get to a Piper Campbell. That deflects into the far corner. Trying to get that away from Steplidis. The puck loose on the far circle. That back to the far point to Drebeck. That slips back. Picked up in the far corner by Olivia Andrianopoulos. That off the side of the net. Rimmed all the way around. Reed has it right at the near point. Trying to avoid some pressure coming in from Trush. The puck into the near corner. Giordano trying to pull it back. Now Reed keeps it in. She fires it from the near point over to the far point for Drebeck. Drebeck with a bouncing shot. That covered up as the goaltender is Ventura for St. Catharines. There's another shot by Reed from the near point as Olivia Andrianopoulos trying to deflect that. That picked up by Steplidis and along the far boards. Now fired back deep in along the end boards by Olivia Andrianopoulos. Giordano trying to pick that up. The puck in along the near boards outside the near circle. There's a shot by Reed and comes all the way outside the far circle. Steplidis trying to knock that away. Comes top of the far circle, then lifted by Trush back into the neutral zone. Drebeck chips it ahead. Pioneer touches back up. That tipped. Now Bradley going to try and pull that away from Connor. Still chipping away at it, trying to keep it in. Now it bounces back into the neutral zone. Pioneer has to touch back up. That moved over to Chen. Chen brings it in along the near boards. Popped right back out into the neutral zone. Trush has it in along the near boards. Pioneer gathers it as Lopresti grabbed it at her own blue line. Heads into the zone. Lopresti onto the near circle with it. She goes into the near corner. Sends it back to the near point. That manages to skip past. Bouncing puck. Rory Campbell grabs it back in her own zone, goes back behind her own goal. Rory Campbell from far side to the near side. Knocks it ahead to Bradley. That tip slides back. It's a foot race to avoid icing as Lopresti goes to grab it. Lopresti into the near corner. That fired back to Rory Campbell, top of the far circle. That lifted away by Rue. Now pulled back behind by Bradley. Bradley trying to wrap it around the post. That deflects. There's a shot from the far circle. That brought back to the near point. Trying to save that is Vadlinger, but couldn't quite pinch it as it goes all the way back into the Pioneer zone. Vadlinger grabs it, trying to get away from Hemker. Now Bradley trying to knock it off of the far point. Picked up. Loose puck in the slot, pulled away by Pioneer. As coming down, here comes Friedman over center ice. Friedman comes in, top of the near circle. Friedman with the shot, saved by Ventura. 12:10 left to go here in the first period. 0-0 is our score. So we are live from the Veterans Memorial Ice Arena. Face-off is going to be to Ventura's right in the near face-off circle. As Barraclough in to take the face-off. I believe that's Hemker on the other side. The puck controlled by Pioneers. Tuzinski gets it back. That's a Zoe Andrianopoulos who shot. That's sticked away by Ventura into the far corner. Tuzinski with it. She goes back behind the goal. Onto the near circle. Twirts, switch, and fires it in. Tuzinski scores at 11:57. If they give it an assist, it would go, I believe, to Zoe Andrianopoulos, and Pioneer gets on the board. 1-0. Jasinski had it behind, came over right on the inner edge of that near circle, wristed it in, did a fantastic job, and Pioneer gets first on the scoreboard. Piper Campbell in to take the face-off, that versus Trush, that puck bouncing, comes back to the Pioneer blue line, moved by Reed, poked away. Here comes Trush with it into the near corner. As Myling trying to watch her, Trush has that poked away, gets it back underneath the near circle. Myling deflects it in along the near boards. Myling takes it, banks it off as that comes into the neutral zone. Coming over, Olivia Andrianopoulos has it top of the near circle. She moves it into the slot, trying to get to Giordano. That just out of her reach. Piper Campbell trying to pick it up in along those near boards. Piper Campbell on the far circle. Piper Campbell with the shot. That deflects on a body out in front and goes right back behind the goal. Olivia Andrianopoulos has it. She tries a backhanded shot from the underneath of the far circle. All the way back. There's a shot by Reed from the far point. That slips on the near circle. Moved back to Myling at the near point. Myling feeds it through. There's a pad save into the near corner by Ventura. Pioneers centering attempt. That's a shot. And that will save by Ventura come. Or was it? No, they, yeah, it was a save. Saved by Ventura. Excellent job. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. Lopresti in to take the face-off. That looks like Steplidis on the far side. Or no, that was Trush. There's a shot by Bradley that just goes wide from the high slot. The puck in along the near boards. Picking it up, heading over, and bringing it ahead is Sinkiewicz. Trying to peel it off of those near boards. Drabeck in there as well. Held in at the near point by Bradley. Bradley sends it back deep and along the end boards. Cheng has it there. Cheng goes back behind the goal. Moves it over to Lopresti outside the far circle. Now centering attempt over to Chen. Out in front. Shot by Bradley. Saved by Ventura. That puck comes back to the near point to Drabeck. Drabeck has that poked away. Here it comes into the neutral zone. Trush has some speed. Comes down into the Pioneer zone. Trush on the near circle. Great job by Vadlinger to knock that off of the stick. Fantastic defensive play by Vadlinger, stealing a very good shot away from Trush. As that puck controlled, sending it in. Oh, stolen away. Now poked into the neutral zone. Chen trying to get it. That pulled back. Marks has it. And now brought in. Chen has it into the slot. Chen with a shot. Saved by Ventura. Chen gets it back. Backhanded shot. That just misses into the near corner. Pioneer trying to control. Tuzinski trying to grab that. That loose on the near circle. Lifted back by Barraclough. Now Friedman grabs it in the neutral zone. That banked ahead. Lopresti trying to grab it. Picked up by Schofield. And it slips back into the neutral zone. Pioneer will have to reset. Tuzinski banks it off the far boards. Comes onto the far circle. Tuzinski with the shot. And she scores! Goes top left corner again. That makes it 2-0 Pioneer. 9:29 left to go. Well, Tuzinski has some wheels and a good rising shot, as she's shown early in this season, and that was a pretty move. There's not a lot. Ventura's been very, very good so far, but that was a fantastic shot. Not much she could do about that. Barraclough in to take the face-off versus Iskro, excuse me. In along the far boards, now sent into neutral zone. Here comes Tuzinski. Tuzinski gains the zone. Tuzinski into the slot. Tuzinski shoots and scores! She went bar down, lifted it just underneath the crossbar. She has her second goal, as that was right off. I don't think Ventura even was able to get set on that. That was such a quick move by Pioneer. So 2 goals for Tuzinski. Scores talking everything over. Face-off in the near face-off circle. 9:15 left to go. That puck in along the far boards. Connor has it. Now Piper Campbell chasing it, battling in along the far boards, as well as Olivia Andrianopoulos trying to pull it off those far boards. It slips in along the end boards. Grabbing it, Connor. Trying to move it in along the far boards. That rimmed all the way back into the near corner. Pulling it back to Myling at the near point. Myling tries to get around as Hemker knocked it away. The puck gathered in by Piper Campbell outside the near circle. Piper Campbell stops, trying to move it back to the near point. That lifted, held in by Myling. Myling shot, that deflects, bouncing puck right at the St. Catharines blue line. Now comes in along the far boards as That's sent back. Zoe Andrianopoulos trying to knock it away. That deflects back deep into the Pioneer zone. Miling has it in along the near boards. Miling coming over her own blue line, trying to avoid pressure by St. Catharines. Miling gains, that's Piper Campbell. Piper Campbell with a backhanded shot, and that goes in. Sorry, I saw the 6 didn't catch the one. That was Piper Campbell taking it from end to end and getting a little bit moved. Came over to the side, put a backhanded shot in. And Piper Campbell increases the lead for Pioneer at 8:12 left to go. Face-off will be at center ice. Lopresti in to take the face-off. Trush on the other side. Now coming out, Steplidis. The puck comes back to Reed. Reed in along her own blue line. That fired ahead by Newbar all the way deep. 3-0 Pioneer. With 8:04 left to go. As that was icing, it'll come all the way back into the Pioneer zone. That's going to be in the far right, far circle. That's going to be to Ross's right. Cody Ross between the pipes today. Her and Grand splitting time so far early in the season. The puck in along the near boards, controlled by Reed. Reed sends it ahead. Loose puck right at the Pioneer blue line. Now corralled, coming in. Reed gains the zone. Reed moving it over on the near circle. Reed backhanded shot that deflects on the far circle. Bradley trying to pick it up, held in at the far point by Vadlinger. Vadlinger finds Bradley outside the far circle. Bradley working her way along the goal line, puts it back to the blue line. That slips right between the defenders. Reed gets back to her own blue line, having to reset, trying to avoid Trush. Now Chung has it at center ice. That poked away. Now Bradley has it in along the far boards. Bradley has that poke checked away. Now Lopresti brings it in. Truss grabs it and lifts it all the way down the ice. That should be icing, and it will be. So that'll go right back into the St. Catharines zone. 7:13 left to go here in the first. 3-0 is the lead. If my memory works well, it's 2 goals by Tuzinski and 1 by Piper Campbell so far for Pioneer. Bouncing puck, that goes right back behind the goal. Coming in along the near board, Strayback has it, top of the near circle. Now that move back to Draybeck. Draybeck trying to feed it in. Barraclough trying to tip it. Now Tuzinski with another shot that just goes wide. The puck outside the near circle. Draybeck trying to grab it. Draybeck feeding it into the slot. That pulled away by St. Catharines. As here comes Connor. Connor has it down the far boards. That pulled away by Barraclough. Now Tuzinski had it. Barraclough gets it back right at her own blue line. Pioneer looking to get back to the winning ways after their first game. They've had 3 losses in a row, so Pioneer trying to find a win here. St. Catharines trying to get their first win of the season. As Tuzinski has it, Tuzinski puts it out in front. Oh, that just missed as Tuzinski fed Barraclough. Now a wraparound attempt, still out there. And that went in. Score, I didn't see who got it as it was being pounded away out in front. I believe that was Barraclough who put that in. That'll be 4-0 here. We don't get any goal announcements at this point, so bouncing puck. That lifted in along the far boards. Piper Campbell moves it back. That over to Rory Campbell. Ahead to Giordano. Giordano gains the zone. Giordano over to Piper Campbell. Piper Campbell goes back behind the goal. Coming from the far side, or near side to the far side. That back to Rory Campbell. Her shot deflected out in front. The puck outside the near circle. Moving it back. That just slips past. All the way back into the Pioneer zone. Rory Campbell collects it underneath the far circle. Goes back behind her own goal. Comes over to the near side. Then rims it all the way around the boards. Picked up and along the far boards. Here comes Pioneer with it. Olivia Andrianopoulos has it. Now that lift ahead by Rory Campbell all the way back into the St. Catharines zone. That will be icing and head back the other direction. 5:33 left to go. That's why I thought originally it's 5-0 Pioneer. I thought we were sure to go earlier. So face-off in the far face-off circle. That is to the right of Ross. Comes back underneath. Puck in along the far boards. Controlling it. Here comes Lopresti. Lopresti over center ice. Lopresti gains his own. Lopresti into the slot. Lopresti ridden off the puck. Good defensive play by St. Catharines as Doyle had it back in the far side. Now that lifted back to the far point. Moved over by Zoe Andrianopoulos over to Vadelinger. Vadelinger sets up for Bradley on the far circle. Shot covered up by Ventura. Trying to grab it back behind. The puck controlled by St. Catharines. Trying to get it out of the zone. That slips past. Vadelinger regroups back into the neutral zone. Vadelinger sends a cross-ice pass over to Zoe Andrianopoulos. She trying to gain the zone. That poked away. Loose puck right at the St. Catharines blue line. Now Bradley comes back. Trying to intercept that on the near side was Sinkiewicz. Now Chen brings it in. Chen trying to get outside the near circle, trying to lift it back to Bradley. The puck deflects. Now heading back behind the goal in along the end boards. Connor sends it for a ride around the near boards. Vadelinger keeping it in at the near point. Vadelinger moving it over along the blue line. As that Zoe Andrianopoulos on the far circle. That knocked away by the defenders. Now Barraclough has it in the far corner. Going back behind the goal. Barraclough underneath the near circle. Now goes back the other way from the near side to the far side. She moves it back to the blue line. That to Vadelinger. Vadelinger moves it, top of the near circle. That for Chen, who has a shot. Good pad save into the near corner by Ventura. It's Pioneer making a quick change on the fly. Vadelinger trying to hold it in. That slips back into the neutral zone, up the stick. Now Zoe Andrianopoulos has it in along the far boards. Sending that ahead. That lifted all the way back. That will be icing. It's just a touch on the other side of center ice, and that will come all the way back into the Pioneer zone. 5-0 is the score. 3:45 left to go here in the first period. Cody Ross, looking comfortable between the pipes, watches to her right as faceoff will be taken there. Barraclough in to take the faceoff. I cannot read the number on the side of the jersey for St. Catharines. Try and get that in a second. As that puck controls, slips right back behind the Pioneer goal. Now coming up the near side is that Pilati. Banked ahead through the neutral zone. Here comes the rush. Barraclough grabbing it outside the near circle. Barraclough coming in. Shot! And she scores! Barraclough took a shot. And Ventura trying to get it. Just slipped past her, left the pad and in. Should make it 6-0 now at 3:27 left to go here in the first. And to take the face-off, Iskro for St. Catharines versus Barraclough. Friedman to the left of the face-off, Tuzinski to the right. Your defenders are Pilati as well as Reed. As Friedman controls the puck on the far circle it goes, trying to get it over to Barraclough. That tipped away. Good job by Schofield to knock that away. Barraclough gets it top of the far circle for Friedman with the shot out in front. Tuzinski trying to clean it up. That picked up. Now Pilati sends a bouncing puck. That sticked away. Oh, shot went off of the post. Picking it up, Barraclough. She backhands it. That goes right back behind the goal. But good job, Ventura, to stop that. Coming back behind. Trying to come out in front was Tuzinski. That deflected outside the near circle. Now lifted back. Controlling it. Friedman. Friedman comes in along her blue line. Hooked a little bit there, but over to Reed. Reed has shot that pad save into the near corner by Ventura. As Tuzinski trying to get through the slot. Pulled away. There's Barraclough with a rising shot. That one just a little high. Outside the near circle it comes. Now back to the near point, trying to hold on to a Pilati. That tried to skip her stick. And there is the hooking call. So delayed penalty. Pioneer will be on the power play. They lead it 6-0 at 2:25 left to go here in the first. As they're waiting for... trying to see who's going to go into the box. That's going to be Soava. Soava goes into the box to sit for 2 minutes. Face-off is going to come to Ventura's right in the near face-off circle. That's Trushin to take the face-off versus Piper Campbell That puck comes back to the near point, grabbing it Miling. Miling moves it in along the blue line, trying to get over to Piper Campbell. Piper Campbell outside the near circle. That back to Miling at the near point. Miling taking a shot. That's sticked away into the near corner by Ventura. Picking it up, Piper Campbell. She goes back behind the goal from the near side to the far side. Piper Campbell moves it back to the blue line. That to Drebeck. Drebeck bounces it off the far boards, comes right back in along the end boards. Connor sends it for a ride around the boards, trying to pick it up now. Miling at the near point. Miling trying to feed it ahead for Giordano. That knocked away. Now Piper Campbell picks it up outside the near circle. Piper Campbell trying to get through the slot, drops it back to Miling. That slips into the neutral zone as Miling retreats, grabs it at her own blue line, fires it over to Drebeck along the far boards. Drebeck feeding it ahead, trying to get to it. Piper Campbell. That knocked away. Piper Campbell has it. Now back to Drebeck. Drebeck trying to make a move as setting back top of the far circle. Now coming in, that moved over to Giordano on the near circle. Giordano moves it back to Miling at the near point. There's a shot bouncing through. Again, pad save by Ventura. She steers it into the near corner. The puck in along the near boards. That comes back to Miling. She stops at the near point, sends it back, ricochets it off the near boards over to Giordano. Giordano lifts it back to the blue line. There's Drebeck with a shot high. That goes just wide. As the puck back behind. Olivia Andrianopoulos trying to get it. Miling holding it in at the near point. Battle for it now. Still holding it in Miling. She ricochets it deep. Lopresti trying to pick that up outside the near circle. Lopresti makes a nifty move and puts it in. Lopresti catches just inside the near post and scores. Should be Lopresti. I believe Miling would get the assist on that one. Power play goal for Pioneer with 21 seconds left to go in the St. Catharines penalty. That makes it 7-0 Pioneer over St. Catharines. Lopresti in to take the face-off. Coming out to take the face-off is Iskro for St. Catharines. And then Soava will be to her left, and to her right is Sinkiewicz. That pulled away. Here comes Lopresti. Lopresti comes back in along the near boards. Gets it back to Pilati at the near point. Pilati sends a wrister. Again, pad save by Ventura. That slips back out into the neutral zone. Veidlinger chases it back to her own blue line. She moves it cross ice over to Pilati. Pilati coming. Tips it ahead to Chen. Chen sends it along the far boards for Bradley. Bradley gains his own. Bradley, top of the far circle, moves it over to Pilati. Pilati back to Bradley. Is that puck loose on the far circle? Backhanding it, trying to get it out of the zone was Soava, and then wouldn't settle down for her. Now picked up. There's a shot by Pioneer, deflected out in front and covered up by Ventura. That was a good defensive play over there. I think that was Marks. It was indeed Marks who got a piece of that, making it difficult. That will be the end of the first period. So at the end of one, it is Pioneers 7 and St. Catharines nothing. We'll have a brief, short intermission. Let's take a look and see if I can't come up with some scores that have happened. If we pop over to the game schedule, see what I can come up with. So our last game was on Monday. And Liggett fell to Little Caesars, 19 and under. That happened at the Farmington Hills Ice Arena on Monday. Games that happened yesterday, I start to lose track of what day it is, to be honest with you, as Regina Lutheran North beat Sacred Heart by a score of 5-0 yesterday. No score reported in the Plymouth Canton-Salem Brighton Howell Heartland game as of yet. What else is going on today? Well, there's 6 games going on today. Mercy is hosting Cranbrook. Although, I say Mercy's the home team, that's at the Devonair Ice Arena over in Livonia. I don't think I've been to that one. Northville's over at Eddie Egger, so that's what's happening at Eddie Egger at the same time. They're hosting Liggett. Of course, here we have St. Catharines visiting Pioneer. Huron Skyline is going to be playing here at 7, so right after this game, that will be versus Brighton Howell Heartland. Over at the Eastside Hockey Arena at 7:30, it's Washtenaw United visiting visiting Grosse Pointe North. And then at the Kennedy Ice Arena, it will be downriver hosting Livonia United. That at 7:50. So lots of great hockey going on today. We appreciate you tuning in here. We really appreciate you supporting these teams and the amazing sport of hockey and women's hockey, which is absolutely fantastic. Love to get a chance to share it with everyone. 15 minutes up on the clock. St. Catherine's has brought their starters for the second period out. Pioneer comes out. Is Vadlinger in to take the face-off. Pilati to her right, Miling to her left. So a couple folks who were playing defense earlier now on the front lines. Give everyone a little bit of a chance to figure out great positions and get a little experience. That collected, fired back deep. Excellent job by Soava. Now Tuzinski has it back behind her own goal. 7-0 is the lead by Pioneer. That fed ahead to Miling. Miling chasing it in. Miling top of the far circle. Miling has that poked away. St. Catherine's trying to send it ahead. Loose puck. Now holding it in is Lopresti. Lopresti playing the far point now outside the far circle. Centering attempt trying to get it over to Vadlinger. That picked up by Pilati just inside the near corner. That's sent back into the high slot. Poked away from Lopresti, as that was a fantastic job. Heading the other direction, as that was again Soava getting a stick on it. The puck pulled by Tuzinski, now brought in by Hemker. Now Tuzinski gets it going the other direction. Here comes Vadlinger on the far circle. Vadlinger trying to get it over to Pilati. That just out of her reach goes into the near corner. Pilati has that tipped away and fired by Lally right back behind the goal. Now Neubauer trying to get it. That deflects right in front of the crease and it's swiped away by trying to pull that in. Ventura swiped it away. Now Lopresti at the far point. Lopresti banks it off the far boards. That comes in right back behind the St. Catherine's goal. Comes into the near corner. Tuzinski. That went off of a defender's skate. Tuzinski has it top of the near circle. That fired. Banked into the far corner. Miling has it. Miling trying to backhand it ahead, getting it over, trying to get it to Pilati. That was knocked down. Hemker gets it out of the zone. Now Tuzinski will reset. 13:07 left to go here in the second. Tuzinski comes over center, works her way down the blue line, avoiding pressure. Tuzinski comes onto the far circle and trying to get it over to Pilati. Again, that puck just wouldn't settle down as she moved it from the far circle to the near circle. Good pass, and Pilati tried everything she could, but just wouldn't settle down for her. That deflected, trying to get it out of the zone was Hemker. Still trying to peel it off of those far boards. Neubauer battling Lally. That lifted back to Rory Campbell at the blue line. Rory Campbell takes a shot. Pad save into the far corner. Neubauer now collects it outside the far circle. That back to Zoe Andrianopoulos. There's a shot. And bounces through the slot, pulled away. Here comes St. Catherine's with it. As coming ahead. Is that Connor? I believe it is. Connor with a shot and save by Cody Ross. As Connor got some speed coming down the far side of the ice. Took a solid shot. Ross with an even better save. 12:10 left to go here in the second period. 7-0 the score for Pioneer. Trush in to take the face-off versus Bradley. That puck through the slot, trying to whack away at it. St. Catherine's had a good attempt, but Cheng had a great job knocking that away, as that was Steplidis trying to take that shot. The puck out in front, shot, save, another save, trying to cover it up. Oh, Pioneer with a pair of attempts. Bradley in there trying to take a whack at it. Chen had a shot at it. Ventura with a trio of beautiful saves there. Stealing it away from Pioneer. Nice job. 11:52 left to go here in the second. Face-off will be to Ventura's left in the near face-off circle. Ventura, a goaltender who has the captain C on her jersey. You don't see that a heck of a lot, although the Michigan men's team has Strauss Mann with a captain C on his jersey. Drebeck has it right at the near point. Slips that through. Pioneer men's hockey had a couple of goaltender captains as well last year. As that sent into the far corner, chasing it, Giordano. Trying to pull that away, lift it outside the far circle, now set up back to Drebeck at the blue line. Drebeck trying to get a tip out in front. Trush gets it all the way back to the far point, back into the neutral zone. Pioneer will have to reset, trying to lift it over to Drebeck. That's stolen away. Here comes a rush down. Trush with a shot and a save by Cody Ross. As Trush has some speed, took advantage of a puck that deflected and just went on a race. Cody Ross with a fantastic save to keep it out of the net. 11:14 left to go here in the second. 7-0 for Pioneer. Little dancing in the crease by Pioneer. Little Tuzinski and Lopresti proving that not only are they infinitely more athletic than I am, but they have much better moves, although that's obvious. I don't know if I could dance my way out of a wet paper bag. Face-off in that near face-off circle. That to Ross's right. The puck into the near corner. Pulling it away to Zinski. She fires it over to Lopresti coming down the far boards. Lopresti over her own blue line. Comes over center ice. Lopresti gains the zone into high slot offsides. The goal. 10:58 left to go here in the second period. 7-0 the lead by Pioneer. That faceoff will come outside of the St. Catherine zone in the near faceoff circle. Barraclough in to take that faceoff. On the other side is East Grow. Myling has it on that far circle. Myling has that knocked away as Lally got it back, but Pioneer able to hold it in. Lopresti from the far point. That shot just goes wide. Pilati has it outside the near circle. Tuzinski calling for it, but centering attempt trying to get to Myling. That lifted. 2 saves by Ventura. Comes right back behind the goal. That puck rimmed around. Lopresti has it at the far point. Lopresti moves it over to Tuzinski at the near point. Tuzinski with the shot. Again, pad save. That comes outside of the far circle. Lopresti trying to get it into the slot. Pulling it away. Pilati with the shot. Good save again by Ventura. Outside the far circle into the far corner. Trying to set that up. And put it out in front. Barraclough. Barraclough chases it outside the far circle. Barraclough drops it back to Lopresti. Lopresti coming top of the far circle. Lopresti moves it back for Myling into the near corner. Myling goes back behind the goal. As trying to pull that away was Lally. Controlled by Lopresti as she's skating top of the far circle, trying to avoid pressure by St. Catharines. Lopresti with the shot. That one just wide. Comes all the way outside the near circle. Now Jasinski has it. Jasinski comes in along the end boards from the near side, trying to cut out in front. There's a shot. Save as that comes all the way back into the neutral zone. Jasinski trying to set up a good scoring opportunity there. The puck deflects and along the near board, slips back in. Vadlinger chasing it and along the end boards of the St. Catharines zone. She loses an edge. The puck goes into the far corner. Neubauer trying to pick that up. Neubauer trying to peel that away from Lally. Now Vadlinger underneath the near circle, trying to move it back top of the near circle. That held in by Giordano with the shot. Again, that saved by Ventura. Pulled back behind, trying to get it high slot. There's Roy Campbell with the shot. That popped up in a good save by Ventura. 8:46 left to go here in the second. 7 goals by Pioneer in the first so far. St. Catharines has kept Pioneer off the scoreboard in the second. Friedman in to take the face-off. Trush on the other side. Roy Campbell top of the near circle. As Vadlinger trying to hold it in. Trying to pull it out. St. Catharines held in at the near point by Rory Campbell. That deflects over to the far point. Zoe Andrianopoulos has it there. Zoe Andrianopoulos moves it into the far corner. As centering attempt trying to get it to Friedman. That knocked away. Neubauer outside the far circle. Neubauer rims it right back behind the goal. Now picked up by Vadlinger into the near corner. Tipped away from her. Pulled, and here comes Trush with it. Trush lifts it into the neutral zone. Corralled by Rory Campbell. Rory Campbell has Trush right in her face, as well as Steplidis providing some pressure, but here comes Friedman into the St. Catharines zone. Friedman drops it over to Vadlinger on the near circle. Vadlinger with a shot. That covered up by Ventura. 7:54 left to go here in the second period. 7-0 is the lead for Pioneer. Face-off will be in the St. Catharines zone. That is to the left of Ventura. Ventura has been very good between the pipes despite the score. Pioneer's put shot after shot after shot on her, and she's done a good job keeping out as much as she can. As the puck drops, Bradley has it, top of the near circle, moves it back to Lopresti at the near point. Lopresti trying to get it crossed ice. That picked up by Tuzinski. Tuzinski, her shot into the near corner it goes. Bradley trying to pull it off of the near boards. That slips back into the neutral zone. Tuzinski moves it over to Lopresti at her own blue line. Lopresti moves it over on the near side, over to Bradley. Bradley brings it into the zone. Bradley, top of the near circle. Bradley working her way in. Bradley, shot, trying to go high. That off the side of the net. Bradley, good attempt. Puts it back, that controlled on the far circle. As that's Piper Campbell with it now, or Chen with it now. Tuzinski on the far circle. Tuzinski takes a shot. Now she brings it back behind the goal. Comes right back out in front, trying to set it up. And that lifted all the way down on end. And that should roll over the goal line. Icing waved off. That picked up by Pioneer right back behind their own goal as Pioneer sets the rush. As Lopresti loses an edge, that puck comes in along the far boards, picked up by Piper Campbell. Piper Campbell over her own blue line. Coming down the far side of the ice, Piper Campbell gains his own. Piper Campbell, drop pass. That shot for Chen goes into the near corner. Bradley has it in the near corner. Bradley working her way down the goal line. That tipped away. Excellent defensive play over there by Pfaff. And whistle. 6:26 left to go here as offside's called. Here in the second, it is 7-0 Pioneer. As Grand will come in, Ross. A chance between the pipes, wanting to keep two goaltenders fresh, which is very, very wise. Pioneer had a bevy of different players playing goaltender, as Pioneer now puts Bradley into the box, so that will be a penalty on Pioneer, so that'll bring it back into the Pioneer goal. But there was a couple times where Tuzinski, not Nadia, but Marina Tuzinski had to play goaltender last year, as well as Friedman. And it's always tough when you don't have someone to back up your goaltender. Ross is wonderful and amazing, but both Ross and Grand have been very good so far this year. That is a luxury not often had. Picked up by Pilati into the near corner. 6:22 left to go as St. Catharines on the power play. Zoe Andrianopoulos has it in the far corner of her own zone. She brings it back behind the goal. She comes bottom of the near circle. Now that brought ahead by coming in is Reed. Reed gains his own. Reed outside the near circle of the St. Catharines zone. Centering attempt. That poked away. Good defensive play by St. Catharines. Now moved back to Reed. Reed into the slot. Shot covered up by Ventura. She couldn't get everything on it. Schofield got a stick on it. Made it tougher on Reed, but a good job to get that shot away. 5:51 left to go here in the second period. Well, St. Catharines fighting, trying to make sure that it is not an 8-goal differential at the end of this period. Because if it's an 8-goal differential at any point in time, third period or on, that would be a mercy. As the puck comes into the neutral zone, pulled in along the near boards by Tuzinski, trying to knock that away. Comes back into the neutral zone. Piper Campbell has it. Piper Campbell right at center. She feeds it ahead to Tuzinski. Tuzinski at the near point. Tuzinski makes a move on the near circle, moving it over on the far side, and Friedman shoots that was Rory Campbell who shoots and scores. So great setup, moved it over to Rory Campbell just on the inner edge of that far circle. Rory Campbell buried the shot. That makes it 8-0 with 5:22 left to go. I'll bring the faceoff right at center ice. Olivia Andrianopoulos steps into the faceoff circle versus Trush. shorthanded goal for Rory Campbell. Pioneer still on the power play as Trush brings the puck into the Pioneer zone. She takes a shot. That's ticked away by Grand. Maddie Grand puts it into the near corner. Giordano pulls it away. There's 41 seconds left to go in the St. Catharines power play. That puck comes back into the neutral zone. Here comes Olivia Andrianopoulos with it. She's on a breakaway. Shot. Good save by Ventura. The puck in along the end boards. That swept all the way back to the far point. Giordano holds it in, trying to move it over to Lopresti. Lopresti trying to get past Trush. Lopresti, bottom of the far circle, comes back behind her own goal. As she's trying to avoid some pressure by Steplidis. Now there's a shot by Giordano. That blocked by Trush. Loose in the slot. And that's pulled down. I believe that was Sinkiewicz who sends it back into the neutral zone. Lopresti puts a bouncing puck. Pioneer back to full strength. Gets it over to Bradley, fresh out of the box. That brought back to Giordano at center ice. Giordano comes over to the near side. That tipped away. Here comes Trush on a breakaway outside the near circle. Trush goes back in along the end boards of the Pioneer zone. That tipped away, as that was an excellent defensive play by Giordano. Moved ahead. As coming in, Vadelinger. Vadelinger takes a shot. Save by Ventura. Poked away, covered up. The official blows the whistle. 3:45 left to go. Running clock as a goal differential. Face-off will be in the near face-off circle. That to Ventura's left. Well, no matter what the score, this St. Catharines team continues to battle and skate. They keep on doing their best. Pioneer just putting a little too much pressure and skating around a little too much. There's being able to move the puck very well on St. Catharines now. That trying to tip it out in front was Pilati into the near corner. Barraclough trying to pull that away. Now Pilati has it back behind the goal. Comes from the near side to the far side. Trying to fire it out in front. Trying to get to Myling. That tips into the near corner by Zoe Andrianopoulos. Barraclough picks it up back behind. Barraclough moves it back to the far point. Then gets it back as Piper Campbell sets her up. Barraclough comes back behind, putting it out in front. Myling with the shot. That into the far corner. Myling trying to work her way around the St. Catharines defense, and Ventura covers it up. 2:37 left to go here in the second period. 8-0 is the lead for Pioneer. And the St. Catharines ladies showing a little moves over there. Schofield, as well as trying to see the other person. That was Schofield and Connor. Again, showing that they have infinitely more rhythm and moving skills than I do. That into the far corner. There's a shot and a save kicked away. Outside the far circle. Trying to set that back up was Rory Campbell. Now Reed has it outside the near circle into the near corner. Sent ahead, trying to shoot. Reed covered up by Ventura. That off the side of the net. Trying to go back behind. That rimmed around the boards. Hemker trying to get to it. That sent right back behind the St. Catharines goal into the near corner. Drebeck sends it back to the near point to Tuzinski. Tuzinski has that tipped away. Good defensive play by St. Catharines. Drebeck has it into the near corner. He's getting a piece of it, Connor. And slips outside the far circle as Rory Campbell gets it back to the far point. That knocked away, trying to get out of the zone. St. Catharines, Pioneer able to hold it in. Rory Campbell feeds it over. There's a shot by Reed. Another save by Ventura. Poked into the near corner. That pulled away back to the near point. Held in by Tuzinski. Tuzinski makes a nifty move through the slot. Gets it back to Lopresti. Lopresti with the shot from the blue line. Another save by Ventura. 1 minute left to go here in the second. 8-0 is the lead. St. Catharines would love to take this last 50 seconds now on the running clock and try and cut into this lead before the end of the period. Pioneer doing a good job of getting a lot of players involved, trying to get everyone some really good experience playing this game on the ice, trying to get everyone a chance in a number of different positions. Giordano comes back, banks it in along the near boards. Drebeck feeds it ahead. At puck to the blue line, 22 seconds left to go. Here comes St. Catharines with it. Trush brings it in, takes a shot. That's steered wide by Giordano into the far corner. Friedman has it, 13 seconds left to go. Friedman firing ahead. That banked, chasing it. Neubauer outside the far circle. Neubauer comes in, back behind the goal. Neubauer onto the near circle, and that will do it. As Ventura made a number of really, really good saves. But at the end of two, it is 8-0, and that should be the end of the game. At least typically it is. I'm just waiting. Both teams gathered around. Trying to make sure they're going to resurface the ice here. So I make sure they might go and play a third period. Typically that would be it, but I just want to make sure the officials come over and have a talk with the Pioneer coaching staff. So we'll see. The one official takes his helmet off. They're going to let the ice get resurfaced, and we'll see if we continue to play a third period. Well, who wouldn't want more hockey nonetheless, so maybe I'm wrong about the 8 to So everyone kind of staying on their benches. So it looks like we're going to have a little bit more hockey. 15 minutes up on the 15 minutes up on the board. So they're going to the official or the Zamboni driver now talking to the coaching staff. We'll get a little. Well, I don't know what's going on, but that's common. I rarely know what's going on. So, looks like they're going to pull the Zamboni off the ice. We're going to, or no, they're going to start resurfacing it. Okay, so we're going to get resurfaced. We're going to get a nice resurfacing. Pioneer is not going to the locker room, though, it looks like. So, we will have a third period. And again, more hockey, the better. So, love to see it and love every one of the players to get a little bit more of a chance to continue to play, and there's nothing that replaces game experience, right? So we'll take a moment. We'll play a few messages. Actually, let's play a little bit of music here. Get you some lovely music to listen to. We will be back in just a moment for the third period. You're listening to Pioneer Women's Varsity Hockey, brought to you by Arbor Broadcasting. All right, so that is going to do it. So with 8-0, it is going to be the Mercy. So it looks like they're going to get a little extra practice time there with the JV team out there and the Pioneer team. So nice win by Pioneer, 8-0 over St. Catharines. But St. Catharines Ventura did a fantastic job between the pipes, taking an onslaught of shots by Pioneer and did an excellent job. And this is a team where you can see that there's some definite players with some talent and just some more time on the ice, and they should be a fun team to watch. But great job by Pioneer all around, trying to get everyone involved. Again, the next game for Pioneer is going to be Saturday. That is Saturday, 7 p.m. here at Veterans Memorial Ice Arena versus Skyline Huron. For my cameraman, James Wiseman, my name is Mark Wiseman. We will be back on air tomorrow for the 5:30 Pioneer Women's Varsity basketball game versus Lincoln. If I can know what day, what time it is, and where we're going, I'm doing well. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.